Just because it's dark doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean it's sad. Dark is simply the opposite of light. Light doesn't necessarily mean it's all good either. Welcome to Body of Truth. I am Rebecca Windsor. Body of Truth was born when, after years of trying to silence and ignore my inner voice, when I was forced to rebuild my life from scratch, it burst through. And as I made huge changes in my life, I found that in order to make them stick, I needed to make them move through my physical body and become part of my muscle memory. I think that this is essential to make any big changes stick. I'm not for woo-woo or bullshit fluffy stuff. So everything I speak of is pretty practical advice. It's what I've tried, what worked for me, what didn't work for me. And I invite you to investigate your own inner voice, possibly start to listen to it, or at least perhaps provoke a self-inquiry in you. So I think that the dark and the dark side get a little bit of a bad rap. My dark side contains my creativity. It contains quite a bit of my sexuality. And these things are not bad. You just can also get stuck there, but you can also get stuck in the light. One of the things that puts me off, and one of the reasons I make that statement about woo-woo, is because that love and light bullshit without a balance of the dark, I feel, is lying. It's a form of lying. It's not telling the truth, because we all have darkness within us. And again, darkness doesn't mean bad. When it takes you over, it can be bad, because dark doesn't necessarily mean sad. Dark doesn't necessarily mean mad. It just means the opposite of light. And it's that balance between the two that's so hard to manage. That is really where you're going to lead your most robust life. You need to draw from both sides of you. And I encourage you not to be afraid to draw from the dark. I would tell you that everything that you are the most ashamed of, the flip side of it is your gift, right? So I'm a little bit of someone that is compelled to share. Some would say an oversharer. But because I overshare and I'm not afraid to do so, I've had people tell me that it makes them feel more comfortable to share themselves, which is my whole purpose here. So, even though it's something that I'm aware of and that, I'm not ashamed of, but I am aware of, it's also my gift. So I urge you, as sometimes we drift into the dark, we drift into the light. When you're feeling kind of darkness come on, this is different than being cast into the pit. But if you examine your darkness and make sure you're not dismissing it as depression or sadness, when it's simply deepening your understanding of yourself. You cannot understand yourself unless you understand the dark and the light. And ideally, they're working together. And no one's really, and obviously that balance is a struggle, right? Usually you're leaning one way a little too far and then you overcorrect. This happens. And I just want to take a moment and give you a little aside of when you feel that no one can possibly feel the way that I feel, when you feel extremely isolated, even if you're married and surrounded by people, I offer to you that we all go through that period of isolation, of feeling misunderstood, of feeling cast out, of feeling unloved. So if that is something that you are going through, I just need to offer you that every single person, regardless of station, goes through that too. So again, I invite you to look at the dark a little bit and open the door and see what comes out. I think you'd be surprised to see that just because it's dark doesn't mean that it's evil or bad. It simply means that it's the opposite of light. And sometimes our stories do hide in there, and it's by the shining of the light on them that releases them. But we'll talk about that another time. I hope you found this valuable. If you did, please subscribe or share it with someone that you think would benefit. And I upload every day. So I will see you tomorrow.